Hi, this is Andrew Fleck for Geoenvironmental Atmosphere. It is your Saturday afternoon, and we're just going to do a quick video update on the storm come Sunday. We're going to show you the European model from 0Z overnight last night, show you what the model's outputting, and then we're going to kind of make a little more sense with that output to our forecast and let you in on what we're thinking here. What we have been saying so far is the majority of this event would be rain. There would be some ice mixed in perhaps, and the majority of snow further north and interior across the northeast. Now, we did make a hint on Thursday night that there would be a chance, and a very small chance, but a chance at that, where some colder air could definitely filter behind the storm or at and during the storm in time for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and especially New York for maybe a slight changeover or a mix, but nothing significant. Again, we'll also talk about this in the video shown here today. So looking at the European model, we're going to go through about 24 hours of 6-hour interval frames here, and we're going to show you what the model wants to do with the storm come Sunday. And what we have here by midnight tonight here, Saturday, is that rain beginning to move up from the south. The darker colors that you get, that green, the darker green, the blues, the lighter blues, that's very heavy precipitation. And most of this is rain. We know that because anything north or above this blue line here is actually snow, and anything just above this 546 line, this first red line, behind or below the blue line, you can even get a little bit of ice or mix in there. And this will become more relevant as we go through more of this video. So then we're going to go into then our early Sunday morning, and we'll show you that the precipitation begins to lift closer now into the mid-Atlantic. Again, most of it's rain, but you do have that 546 line that we talked about in the last frame, very close with some of the precipitation here just north of the region. And that's what the European has been doing. It has been really showing close proximity to this line in relation to the precipitation. But of course that 540 line is still all the way up here, and it's not really interacting much with the storm. That's why this might not be a major snow or a big snow unless further north into Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. So then by Sunday afternoon, that's when the precipitation is likely to be here across anywhere Maryland, Virginia, the Carolinas, the entire mid-Atlantic, and most of that area is getting rain, not much ice, if anything. We might have a little bit of that further back into perhaps the Ohio Valley or northern upstate New York. Again, this is also during the afternoon, so you don't really have too much of that nighttime cooling with that precipitation falling. So what we just have here is majority of it being rain. And at this time also, whoops, excuse me there, at this time also we also have the low pressure being out here, which is what the Euro is showing. So the storm almost goes about this way, and then it goes about this track. And what the European eventually does is takes this track about up into this way, all right, in that direction there. But what we see out of this frame for Sunday afternoon, as spoken, is the 546 line being brought right here. And again, remember, anything north and west of that would be maybe some ice, some rain, some snow mix. Just a messy, messy day. And we, again, don't see that much. We see the majority of that being rain across the region, at least during Sunday afternoon. And then this is where things get a little interesting. This is why we at Geoenvironmental Atmosphere think we're still going to watch this very closely. That's Sunday evening. Now, this is not going to be relevant for all locations, but again, now you start seeing the 546 line crashing into the storm. So now you have places like perhaps the Lehigh Valley, perhaps a little bit of central Pennsylvania, northeast Pennsylvania, upstate New York, where some precipitation might have the opportunity to change. And so that's why we do believe, and we are making that note, on maybe some rain to mix. Again, where this is not significant, but that change might happen. The two models, aside from the European that we're showing today, are much warmer. The European is among one of the colder models, but the European does a nice job on these systems. So when this model in particular shows something like this, we tend to take it a little more seriously. We tend to not throw it out, and that's why we're using this in this video today and to speak of. So again, there you have that 546 line crashing into the storm, and then you have a big question, okay, in this area here, if you do get a change. and that is what we're pretty much on debate about, and that is what we think is possible at this time. We're not going and saying it's going to happen, but when you do have thicknesses crashing into the storm, that's temperatures decreasing very quickly with still heavy precipitation falling. It's a chance, but it's not a definite chance. But we are watching it here at Geo-Environmental Atmosphere. So then let's go and show you the latest forecast that we have out by the team, and we will see that we are still calling for that rain to be the majority of the region, that extending over to the bigger cities, through southeast Pennsylvania, south central, West Virginia, all the way to Virginia, North Carolina. Just that big area there, do we believe, is where a lot of that rain is going to be. Then, of course, we have our ice and we have our snow. That's going to be back here a little bit more further interior. That's in that pink, again, where that ice would be. And then you have your snow a lot further interior over, again, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Now, one area I'm going to highlight, because we did talk about this Sunday evening in the last frame showing the European model, that I will still circle. Okay, I will still circle this area right here and about here, that small edge of green yet very close to the pink, but further north and west of the cities, right in that margin there. Again, we're watching for potentially rain, very much the majority of the event, but during an end of Sunday evening. Does that change over to a little ice and rain mix, or a little snow? That's something that we're definitely keeping our ears and eyes open for. It does not look definite at this time. You have some other models that are a little warmer, but the European's still showing this as the potential prospect. So that's why we're obviously keeping an open mind. So for that is your update for your Saturday. We hope you understand that there is a storm set to impact for Sunday. Majority will be rain unless further north and interior, but with that being said, it's always great to either have a umbrella handy or a shovel if that snow does fall, and where it falls, again, more further north and west. So you have a great day. I'm Andrew Fleck for Geo Environmental Atmosphere.